do not believe that people need to have assault rifles, though. I think people can have, although my husband has them. That's a whole different story.
That's funny.
Yeah. Or
And why does he have them? Is he a collector?
he's
Does
a collector.
I was gonna
He
say,
thinks they're fun.
he probably believes. Now, let's say someone breaks in your home with a semi-automatic weapon. How does he protect your family without one?
Oh, yeah, he would win with what we have.
But he would win because he is well-trained, because he has the right to keep those arms, and because he is going to keep his family safe at all costs.
Right.
Imagine if he doesn't have that weapon.
Yeah.
Let's say the government says you're not allowed to have that weapon. Criminals don't follow laws.
Yeah, well,
Let's say
that's
I
true.
go out and get a semi-automatic rifle and I bust in your door
Yeah.
and I know that you can't have one. Your whole family's done.
Yeah.
So it's a very, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I get like the dichotomy that I'm speaking of, but like, I think there needs to be better regulation on the Second Amendment. Like, even if it meant like affecting our family, as far as like the types.
What do you
of
mean, like background checks or the type of weapon?
the type of weapons? I don't think civilians need to have the assault level. Like,
People always attack people for saying assault rifle because there's no such thing. But I know you're just categorizing like, you mean like
I mean, you can-
AR-15s,
yes,
which
you
is
can-
that AR is an Armalite rifle. It's the same one that you use for hunting. It's just made to have a high capacity clip. It's made to fire at a semi-automatic or automatic rate, etc. But there's no such thing. Like, that's just a term that is often thrown out there, which
Yeah.
I know what you're just saying to categorize this group of weaponry. But at the end of the day, if you take it from your husband, the criminals will and can get them. You just disarm your husband.
yeah. Well, I don't know how to fix that one, but
It's a difficult
Yeah.
discussion.
Yeah.
I feel the same way.
somehow that one needs to be modified, or something needs to be fixed in that one. I don't know the answer to it, but
The difficult thing is guns exist.
you're right.
If I could snap my fingers and we could live in a utopia where guns were never invented and you
Right.
can't take someone's life by moving your trigger finger, I would do that in a heartbeat. But because they exist and because evil can possess them, you can't strip good people of their ability to defend themselves from that evil.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like it's almost like one of those things where there's just no great answer.
Right.
There's no great answer, but you can't take from good people, because if a mass shooting breaks out, nobody with their bare hands is stopping a dude with a machine gun.
Right.
You need other people that are armed and capable.
Yeah.
You need strong people, whether it's a man or a woman that is highly trained, that can stop that threat. There's no win. There's
Yeah.
no win in a situation like that. Like the school shooting thing that's going on right now. How do you address school shootings?
I don't have a good answer for that one right now. I don't have a good answer for it.
I would rather take armed security and people to protect our children, whether it was local policing units or it was special trained operations or former high-end military, and have them on staff at that school that you will not harm these children. But at the end of the day, let's say you put it, I was really shocked by this. I've done the Reaching Higher program multiple times as a mentor, and when I would go into the Fowlerville school, it said gun-free zone. I could walk in unchecked. No one said a word to me. I could go to any classroom, walk straight in, and not a single staff would interact with me until I was at a classroom. I remember looking around being like, this is a problem.
Right.
I am a good human being that is here to serve a good cause.
Right.
I'm here to mentor these children, to help them out. I can walk in completely unchecked to any room I want. Imagine if I came in with a weapon.
Right.
That is a problem. And putting our head in the sand, every one of those kids is in danger if we don't address that thing. Guns aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
So what can we do when there's a wolf outside your door? Listen, here's a perfect example. If there's a wolf outside your door, right? We have a family together. We have kids. There's a wolf outside the door. We have a small dog, and we have a little child. And every day, I started noticing there was a wolf getting closer and closer and closer and closer to our property. Now all of a sudden, the wolf's coming right up in your backyard. I love animals deeply. I have a dog that's like my child. Like, I love animals. I would never want to harm an animal. If I do not take action against that wolf when it eats my child, I can't. It was my ignorance. I might have to go out and shoot at the wolf a couple times. I might have to scare it off. If it keeps coming back and it's a legitimate threat to my son or daughter or small dog, I will kill it. I would never want to take an animal's life no matter what. But at the end of the day, to fight some type of predator, evil, whatever it is, to protect people, you may have to do things like that. So I think like the real way to address how do we protect children who deserve our protection more than anyone else, Those kids are being sent to a location. Their life should never be on the line. We have to take pro action against that. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, go ahead, lock your door, bar the door. If I have a machine gun and I shoot at that door, the door is going to open. And I kick that door, it's going to open up. These are horrific things in life that we don't want to address. But you know what? When the wolf got close and I said, well, I hope it doesn't eat my kid. And then it's closer. And then I hope it doesn't eat my dog. That's living in an illusion. It's a wolf. It's going to take an opportunity to take a small child if it gets it. I have to drive it away. I have to prevent it. I have to have the type of whatever strength it is to stop the threat. So I feel like that's one of the things where on a compassion basis or on an emotional basis, like, well, I just don't ever want that to happen. But that doesn't prep us.
Yeah.
We need to be like, how do we have real world solutions to keep our children safe? Because every single time that a child is harmed, it's not their fault. It is our fault for failing to protect them. You know what I mean? So like that's another topic that's had me super emotional about this school shootings because like my fiance's son is a young kid that's in school. And the thought of someone breaking in there and the fact that we haven't taken action to put security or someone that can stop a threat, send all the prayers you want. That doesn't do anything.
I know.
Claim that we need these background checks. Criminals are not going to do them. Say this and that. None of that protects our children. What protects our children is strong men and women having a resistance to that. You know what I mean? And like that's a topic, like you said, if we don't address that, we are doing a disservice to all of them. You know what I mean? Kids that can't protect themselves, that are counting on us. That's a huge topic we need to be solving.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to, again, like I
what
said,
would you
I don't-
suggest? Let's say, how would you suggest we keep those children safe?
I don't know if armed security guards is the right answer. I'm not completely against that. I don't know the right answer to that. I don't know if it's metal detectors.
Yeah, but that checks the children. If I bust into school, who cares if you have a metal detector? I have
I mean,
the gun in
right.
my hand. Hey, bang.
Right. Maybe it is the armed security guards. I can't believe it's come to that, I guess, that's what we have to do.
Or
But
it's always been that, but now we have a mental health crisis where we have more people doing
Sure.
crazy things.
Yeah.
It's almost forced us to come to a
Right.
decision like, because you're right, I want to live in a world where that doesn't exist.
I know.
I don't want that reality.
Yeah.
But if we have that reality, you're not killing
Sure.
my kids.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to do everything possible. Like
Right.
in the Uvalde shooting, it took like a father in the community that was off duty to go in and take care of
Yeah.
the shooter.
And a mom to go in and get her kids.
Are you
yeah.
kidding me?
Yeah.
No. Like if there's not going to be security at the school, you need those children's deaths are on your hands if you do not put people in place to protect those children.
Right.
It's that simple.
Right.
And go ahead and say, yeah, metal detectors. That is an illusion. I am going to I'll walk
No,
right
I
through the middle of
understand.
the.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I agree with you. These are massive. And if we don't address them and come up with real world tangible solutions, we're failing. We're failing people. And like we have to be proactive. We don't wait until it happens again to say, okay, you know what? Now it's time.
But at the same time, are the schools going to put what kind of weapon will the security guard be carrying? Something that can go up against what the
It should
You
be a
know.
legitimate weapon. If I give you a handgun and I
Right.
get a machine gun and we're going to have a shootout, you are toast.
That's what I'm saying. If the person coming into the school to do damage has something,
Which they do.
which they do and they will, are we going to give a security guard a handgun or a taser? Or, I mean, they have to have a legitimate weapon. And then
100%.
that's the thing is there's a lot of, who knows? I mean, are they going to be approved for that? How are they going to be trained? How much money are they going to be paid? Are they going to be there all the time? Do they parole the perimeter? Like, there's just so many, I don't know. There's so
Yeah,
many
and there
things
might
to
be
think about here.
logistics to figure
Yeah.
out. But how good would it feel to know that like an ex-Army Ranger that is a
Right.
great man and him and one other person are going to be at that school to make sure your children are safe.
Yeah.
And they're going to be on site. And you know what? Let me say you're a criminal, you're a mass murderer, you're a crazy person that thinks you're going to go in and harm children. And you know there are two
Right.
highly trained people with serious weaponry that are going to do everything in their power to make sure you can't harm those kids. You know what bullies don't like? Resistance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what crazy people don't want? People that can fight back.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want that. That's why people bully people. They look for victims.
Mm-hmm.
People that are rapists look for the weak. People that are power driven look to dominate. You can't stop them with the soft mentality. You put an iron fist with people like that and you say, no, you won't do that. You won't harm these children, or we will do everything in our power to make sure that you cannot. You know what I mean? Because you can't lead with compassion, which is what our natural instinct is. To be like, well, that just shouldn't happen.
Right.
That person doesn't care about
Too
good.
late for that. Yeah.
Exactly. People like you and I, they don't care about that sentiment. Maybe they want to make a statement. They are an extremist. They want to go out in a shootout with police. We have to be like, no, there is resistance to you. You know what I mean? If you try this, your life will be forfeit because you're not taking the lives of these children. And I agree that there will have to be, again, we will have to hash out every single little aspect of it. You know what I mean? But then imagine at the end of that project, Pamela, how we would feel to go, we have actually implemented something that can keep these children safe.
Right.
That's what
Yeah.
that's amazing. We would sit down no matter what, left, right, no matter how you were, and be like, we've done something. No more thoughts and prayers.
Right.
That doesn't save kids.
No.
Action saves people. And I think the reason a lot of people get off course is we're so driven by our emotions that you don't even want that solution to have to exist. You don't want that reality to have to exist. But it's like putting your head in the sand.
Yeah.
If you put your head in the sand, you're keeping people in danger. And it's enough. Enough is enough. Period.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Period.
Period. I agree.